Kerbals. You know them, you love them, little green people, waddle a lot, you know what I'm talking about. Well, sometimes due to no fault of the rocket scientists, they tend to run out of fuel on some distant planet tens of millions of kilometers away from home. Knowing this fact made me wonder, what's the farthest away that you could strand a Kerbal? Well, normally the answer to this question is the planet Eeloo. In stock KSP, Eeloo is the most distant body from Kerbin. It's so far away in fact that solar panels barely even work there. But that's not good enough for me. I want to strand a Kerbal so far away that even the Blunderbirds couldn't save him. And with the help of a little mod called the Outer Planets, it is possible to strand a Kerbal in a place so cold, so isolated, so barren of life that no one would even ever want to go there. Finland. Nah, just kidding. It's an analog for the dwarf planet Pluto in this mod. It's called Plock. But even Plock isn't good enough because at least for a little bit, the orbit of its moon Charon is just a tad farther away. And that's where we're going today. But there's one small problem. I have to build a rocket big enough to make it out there. And I kinda suck at this game. But I've never let being bad at a video game stop me before, and I'm certainly not going to start now. Also, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 5K and it helps me out so much. Anyway, I started by building a lander with these things called RTGs on them. They generate electricity somehow. I assume it's via space magic. Since solar panels don't work on Charon, this would be my go-to. I tested my lander and it seemed like it would work, so I moved on to the interplanetary stage. This stage needed to have a mountain of delta V. Looking at a chart online, I saw that on the upper end I would need roughly 7K total to make the trip, so I made sure I had enough fuel and tested this in orbit too. The main thrust for my craft uses 7 nuclear engines. Normally these engines are very slow and very fuel efficient, but if you have enough of them, it's still very usable, even if I ended up with 7-minute burn times. Bruh. With all this squared away, it was time to create the lower stage that would take my Kerbals off the planet and into orbit. It needed 3,400 delta V, so I strapped some more tanks and mainsail engines to the side of it and saw that I could lift off, so I went for it right there and then. I guess it's time to try it, see how stable it is. Oh, she's going. She's going alright. I really don't know how this happened, but my ascent was really smooth and easy, and I got my rocket into orbit first try, with 0 explosions. Well, other than this one. That's strange for me because normally there'd be a deceased Kerbal or two before I got a successful launch off. But there was one minor problem. This middle stage ran out of fuel before the end. I probably should have fed some fuel into the main tanks, but these engines are more efficient in a vacuum, so I don't know if that balances out or not. Probably doesn't, to be honest with you. And then it was time to stage my rocket, which always looks cool, so I'll let that play out. We are ready to stage. After getting into a stable orbit, I raised my periaps to around 150 kilometers and then desperately tried to get the maneuver node to give me an encounter with Plock. But this was much harder than building the rocket. I'll spare you the pain that I went through, but just know this was not at all easy. After I got the encounter, I discovered that I had to sit at my computer and babysit my rocket for a whole 7.5 minutes before my orbit was far enough out. Then I had to do some interplanetary adjustments to connect with the planet as well. Now for my absolute favorite part. The transfer from Kerbin to Plock is 23 years long. Thank the Lord for better physics time warp. This would be absolutely ridiculous without it. Upon getting closer to Plock and Charon, I discovered something that I can only describe as the game actually breaking. I don't know if you're not supposed to get all the way out here or what's going on, but I tried fine-tuning my encounter with Plock to be closer to the surface, but whenever I tried, my trajectory just literally wouldn't change. That was weird, so I tried to rotate my craft and burn manually. That worked. I thought to myself, that was weird, but then whenever I actually entered the sphere of influence around Plock, I tried burning retrograde so I could get captured, but it didn't matter how much I pulled on the node, literally nothing happened. I thought maybe I was coming in way too fast to slow down, but I looked and I was only about 1,000 or so meters per second. I once again tried to do it manually without a node, and then like magic, it worked. Strange. Luckily, at this point in the mission, I still had a healthy reserve of Delta V, and I used what was left in my interplanetary stage to get myself into a low orbit around Charon. Also, as a quick side note, why does the moon look so wet? It looks like clay before it was thrown in the kiln. It's actually hideous. You can't call me ugly. Oh my god, just don't acknowledge her and she'll forget we're here. But anyways, I staged again and came in for a landing, on the farthest body in all of KSP. It felt like quite the achievement. and I'll flip it back over to Past Void for his reaction. Coming in for the landing. Landing gear deployed. They're going to go where no Kerbal has gone before. Step foot on the surface of a carrot. Oh, this is looking pretty good. I'm liking this. The softest little touchdown. And touchdown. Beautiful. Couldn't have done it better with myself. Actually, I'm trying to move over here. It's a little bit flatter over here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's not quite a hill. Who will do the honors? I'd say Jebediah. He earned this. He's the OG Kerbal. Graceful as always. Now that we've landed on the farthest body in all of KSP... Wait, why did we come here again? I really don't even remember. Wait, Bill. Where are you going, Bill? Bill, you wouldn't leave me here? And with that, we have put a Kerbal stranded on the farthest body away from Kerbin. A place where no one will ever come and save him. Unfortunate, but maybe one day Matt Loudon will come and save you, because I know that I sure won't. I'm trying out a different type of content here. Tell me if you like it. If you do, give me a like or a subscribe, and let me know what I can improve down in the comments. Thanks. Bye for now.